믹스의 투시스 쉬알이야. 로브종 지금 모든 스터디들이 그렇게 모학탄에 아니 디그리스라나 보지 믹스의 투시스.
I would like to especially express my thanks for actually giving me a degree, an honorary degree from a great university without actually having to do any studies in modern.
Now, I try my broken English. Indeed, I'm very happy and feel great honor to receive this degree, and also opportunity to talk with young boys and girls. I think very bright in your eye, and also one aspiring student, quite bright here also. I think we two competing. Sorry. So because these young people, you are the basis of our hope. 20th century, I born 1935. And just before Second World War, then Korean War, Vietnam War, and also during India's partition, millions of people suffer, and also civil war in China. And up to now, in Africa and Arab area. I think each individual's dearest is one's own life. But that life, no,
There was, in some sense, no value to the preciousness of the life.
So, now I am over nearly 73. I observed the last century. Of course, there are many great achievements in the field of science and some other. But that century also become century of war, century of violence. I think people who start this violence, I think certainly with the hope or vision, although they are violent method, but hoping bring more brighter days on this planet, or at least their own concerned people. But it seems as if violent counter-violence and something like endless. So therefore, you the new generation of 21st century. Now, you are our hope, the basis of our hope. You will create this century a century of peace, century of tranquility, no more bloodshed. Each individual's dearest sort of self live happily. So everybody, sing 1,000 times peace, peace, world peace, like that. But peace not come from sky. Why? The violence, war, our creation. So peace depends on us. So we must make lasting peace. So my generation, I always mention, you see, most of professors, chancellors belongs 20th century. So we are now ready to say goodbye. So the time to hand it over all these, or say the mass survey.
The mass.
The mass world now handed over to you. Now you have to find ways and means to overcome these problems. Now, firstly, in order to carry effective ways and methods to bring peace, firstly, you need willpower to face any conflict without using violence, but through dialogue, through talk, face to face. So I often used to telling people or sharing with people, now this century should be century of dialogue. Dialogue is the only way to solve conflict. If we hoping peaceful world, that means without any conflict, that is unrealistic. I think so long we human beings with this intelligence which have ability, different visions, different hopes, expectation, then different ideas, different interests, always there. And also the global warming and the limitation of natural resources and the population increasing. So there are bound sort of factor develop conflict. So the peace means when we challenge these conflict without using force, but through peaceful means, through dialogue. Now, in order to carry dialogue, we need will or determination. And here, determination based on compassion. That means simply respect others' right, others' interest, and so they dare to harm them.
So instinctively refrain from harming others.
So here, one way we need compassionate what's the heart. Then secondly, we need wisdom, or more something like holistic view. The knowing the reality, sort of full picture. So for that, I think, although the concept comes from Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy, but I feel that is something adaptable to everyone. That is concept of interdependency. Everything interdependent. So now, today's world, in economy, in many fields, not only nation to nation, but also continent to continent, heavily interdependent. So under that circumstances, there's hardly no nation or no group of people as the enemy, rather part of ourselves. So therefore, destruction of your enemy or your neighbor is actually destruction of yourself. So taking care of even your so-called enemy who have different views, different interests, and little negative attitude towards you, but in reality, these are also part of yourself. And your future depends on them. So therefore, from the viewpoint of interdependency, interconnectedness, you get the conviction. Now, using violence, defeat our neighbor, it's meaningless. In ancient time, through war, through violence, victory oneself means defeat. Defeat of your neighbor or your enemy means your victory. Now today, mutual destruction. Destruction of your neighbor, your enemy. Essentially, destruction of yourself. So therefore, the concept of war is outdated. Therefore, now one side try to strengthening compassion, respect, all form of life. Other hand, on the basis of theory of interdependency, develop holistic view. Combine these two things, I think we can bring genuine, lasting world peace. And in order to do that, person who, within individual, full of hatred, full of anger, full of fear, then peace is simply lip service. So genuine peace must through within inner peace. So therefore, in order to achieve genuine peace, world peace, first we start individual, in our mind, in our emotional world. Peace, tranquility, calm. Of course, disturbances, hatred, anger, these, or too much suspicion, these, you see, bound to happen. But should go on a surface level. Deep insight, respect all form of sentient being, and knowing my future depend on them. Combine these two things are, in deep insight, you can sustain inner peace, inner calmness. So these destructive emotion, almost impossible to stop, come and should not gain strength. Come and go. In deep insight, compassionate mind, with the wisdom, then you can maintain inner peace. So through one individual's inner peace, you can create peaceful family, then peaceful community. If eventually we create that kind of community, then leadership, the politicians or civil servants, including military personnel or businessmen or anyone, come from that kind of community, that kind of society, will be different. So that's the way to bring genuine, peaceful world or lasting world peace. So, as far as education is concerned, you are expert, and particularly these old, also the wonderful professors and these, of course, fully equipped as far as knowledge is concerned. I feel shame or shy speak in front of these big scholars. However, another factor which gives me little encouragement, little sort of courage, that is modern education. It seems maybe wrong, maybe my view wrong. It looks modern education, they mainly focusing or concentrated concentrating mainly external development, material development. I think we can't blame that because I think 1,000 years ago in the European continent, the separate education institution started. At that time, the reality, the church take full responsibility about inner values, moral ethics, and also family. I think takes some extent, family also take the care. So separate, newly developed education institution, then simply concentrate on brain development. Okay, knowledge. Now gradually, the influence of church, of course, still there, but not that much influence. And then family values also somehow little changing. Therefore, now the education institution alone have the responsibility to take care both education and moral ethics. So now, moral ethics is concerned, there are different views. One view, moral ethics must be based on religious faith. Another view, moral ethics not necessarily based on religious faith. The moral ethics can be secular ethics and should be universal. Universality is way. Universal. So therefore, my earnest request, professors, as well as students and teachers, please pay sufficient attention about inner values, mainly warm-heartedness. That much I want to share with you. Then, and what else I should say? I don't know. Then the other day also I mentioned I do not think, you see, much wrong to repeat. Now, in order to develop inner peace, you need some kind of inner disarmament. As I mentioned earlier, complete elimination of destructive emotion is impossible. But we can weaken these negative emotions so that negative emotion come but cannot disturb our positive sort of inner strength. That is I call inner disarmament. So now mainly here, hatred, anger. Anger, hatred may bring extra energy. It looks. When you lose your temper, even some scientist told me, biologically, anger develop, the blood rushes your hand. That means ready to hit. So fear develop, blood goes legs. That means run away. Although you say the anger, biologically, anger and attachment, these two things are very important emotion for survival of this life. So these emotions develop. Accordingly, biological sort of change also take place. However, I think limited level, anger, good, defense. But when we grown up, anger also sometimes, and hatred also grow. Our smart intelligence, instead of helping compassion, intelligence helping hatred. That is wrong. Our intelligence must utilize in order to further growing of compassion, should not be disposal of hatred. Now there are Buddhists call analytical meditation, but simply analyze what really value hatred, anger. Anger, hatred, suppose harm on other. But in reality, anger, as soon as anger, hatred develop, destroy your own peace of mind immediately. And through that way, you lose your sleep, your digestion, appetite. Then eventually, your physical become weak. Through that way, you become difficult sort of position physically. Mentally also, the constant anger, hatred. As a result, your the best part of your brain which can judge, that function also reduced, weakened. So that kind of state of mental as well as physical, I think your enemy really needs that. Someone as your neighbor, if you have some conflict and feel anger, constant anger, hatred keeps day and night, weeks, months, then eventually you suffer. Your neighbor then maybe the happiest sort of moment, very happy. Now my neighbor who have the quarrel, now he or she really suffer. So instead, you remain calm. If your neighbor carries some unjust sort of actions, necessary, sometimes appropriate countermeasure, but without anger, without hatred. Analyze the situation. Now, situation is such, necessary, take countermeasure. Without anger, without hatred, with a smile, you can take effective countermeasure. That's more effective, isn't it? So therefore, judging or analyzing these as a fact, hatred almost no use. Hatred only did not do it.
Hatred, once you think through these lines, hatred is something that only deserves to be thrown into the waste paper basket.
It's no use. So, at small level, small age, like other animal, there's a little anger, is for immediate defense. That's okay. But grown up with intelligence, then think very carefully what's used that. On the other hand, compassion. At limited level, biased compassion. It goes immediate surrounding your friend. But then growing up with help of intelligence, our limited compassion then can be extended. Infinite compassion. That compassion, unbiased, that compassion can reach your enemy. Once that kind of sort of mental ability achieved, then you can certainly keep peace of mind all the time. Even you confront some difficult situation, still you can keep peace of mind. So that's the inner disarmament. Through that way, external disarmament gradually, automatically come. That also necessary. Now, since concept of war is outdated, therefore, weapon is now no use. Perhaps limited or small, because a mobile force, that may be necessary. Some mischievous people, that always possible. So some mobile, little force, but beyond that, not necessary. Now some country, I think as far as I remember, Costa Rica, no army. So, comparatively, they compare neighboring small countries, Central American countries. The Costa Rica economy is better, education is better, health also better, because all the resources used for that. Neighbors' resources spent buying weapon, ammunition, and freedom, fighters like that. So we should pray, we should hope. Eventually, our aim to the demilitarized world. That is, I think, should be our dream. Of course, not overnight. I think some way, the day Berlin Wall disappear, that is, I think, could be starting day, beginning of eventually demilitarized world. Now for that, firstly, I think some restriction, check, arms trade. Some Nobel laureate already carried some initiative. That's wonderful, that's very good. Then also, I think worthwhile to think or worthwhile to explore, like Franco-German unified force. You see, that real guarantee no longer open conflict between Germany and France. Clear. So hopefully, in the European continent, I often usually express these wishes. Hopefully, all the member states of the European Union create a unified force, like unified currency. Eventually, unified force is the best guarantee. And then I often express in Europe, the NATO headquarters eventually should shift to Moscow. Much better. That's the effective method to remove fear, doubt, suspicion. And European, the headquarters of European Union, instead of Brussels, better in somewhere in Central Europe. That means Poland or somewhere like that. So these are actually beyond my business. But as a sort of freedom of speech, freedom of thought, I often express these things. So today, like dream. But I think better have dream, then make effort. Then some positive change may happen. So in this country also, eventually, with Mexico, Canada, and then eventually Central America and Southern America, and eventually unified force. Firstly, on the basis of regional, then gradually whole global level unified force. If something happened then I think one of the best guarantee, no longer Holocaust, war like that. So I take opportunity to share some of this my dream to energetic, long future, bright future, these young students. Please keep in your mind, firstly, you yourself should be more a peaceful person. Then extend your experience, your views, your right views and right behavior to extend, like ripples away.
Repercussions, no.
Like
Like throwing a stone into a pond, ripple effect.
So, thank you. That's all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.